In the 1500s BCE, a kingdom emerged in northern Mesopotamia. Its name may be unfamiliar to many today, but once it stood as equals with the Pharaohs and Hittite kings. Mitanni. This empire forged marriage alliances with Egypt, swore oaths in the name of gods, and established one of the region's most intricate diplomatic networks. Yet the balance eventually shattered. Internal strife erupted, neighboring powers attacked, and finally the gods fell silent. The capital, Washukanni, vanished, its people scattered. This video traces the story of a kingdom erased from the pages of history. Mitanni's rise, its dramatic collapse, and perhaps even its perceived abandonment by the very deities it revered. In the mid-16th century BCE, the Mitanni Kingdom began its rise in northern Mesopotamia, a region corresponding roughly to northern Syria today. These lands previously belonged to scattered Hurrian communities, mostly small principalities ruled by leaders governing shepherds and farmers. At some point, however, a warrior clan emerged, under the leadership of a figure referred to as King Kirtu in Hittite sources. The various Hurrian tribes united. Behind this unity lay not only military strength, but deep cultural bonds and economic pragmatism. Hurrian society was primarily agricultural. Wheat and barley thrived especially along fertile riverbanks. Livestock breeding, weaving, and the trade of valuable minerals like lapis lazuli enriched local leaders and strengthened intertribal connections. Horse breeding formed the core of Mitanni's military might, facilitating trade links with Anatolia, Egypt, and Assyria. This economic vitality provided the necessary resources for military expansion and encouraged local populations to rally around a central authority. This emerging power was distinct not just militarily, but organizationally as well. Using lightweight and extremely swift two-horse chariots, Mitanni warriors could swiftly strike enemy cities and withdraw rapidly. City after city fell under their control. Hurrian, Alalak, the region around Aleppo, all submitted to this rising power. Regular tributes were collected from conquered cities, barley, lapis lazuli, and above all, horses and chariot teams. Local rulers soon began sending tribute to a new center known as Washukanni, identified tentatively today with sites such as Tel el-Fekr or Tel Brak, though its precise location remains uncertain. Archaeologically, Washukanni is still lost. No city marker or definitive inscription has been found, making Mitanni's rise even more enigmatic. While the era's great powers, Egypt, the Hittites, and Assyria, preoccupied themselves with rivalries, Mitanni swiftly rose in diplomatic and military prominence. It quickly became recognized as a kingdom of balance among these major powers, strategically located yet independent and agile. References to this new kingdom spread widely in contemporary sources. Diplomats carried letters, and Mitanni princesses traveled as queens to distant courts. Mitanni had evolved from a mere tribal confederation into a central player in regional politics. The strongest period of Mitanni occurred under the reign of King Tushratta. Tushratta was a leader renowned not only for his military prowess, but also for his diplomatic maneuvers. During his time, Mitanni became one of the few states able to engage Egypt as an equal. His correspondence with Pharaoh Amenhotep IV is known today as the Amarna letters. In these letters, the kings address each other as brother, signifying true parity in the diplomatic hierarchy of the era. Tushratta sent his daughter to Egypt as a bride. She carried not only jewels, but also 500 specially trained horses, and the grooms who accompanied them. These grooms did more than tend horses. With their expertise, they revolutionized the Egyptian chariot warfare system. The centerpiece of this system is the training protocol known today as the Kikuli text. Written by Mitanni's head groom, Kikuli, it details a 100-day horse preparation regimen, daily runs, specialized feeding, purified barley and honey mixtures, rest periods, and bathing routines. Modern scientists tested this text in the 1990s, and the results were striking. Kikuli's regimen remains effective today. Mitanni's supremacy was founded not only on horses or chariots, but on this systematic and disciplined approach. Their soldiers wore lightweight armor covered in bronze scales, and two-horse chariots, fast and highly maneuverable, pierced enemy lines. Battles became not a display of brute force, but a race of speed. In the desert heat, their armor was light enough to breathe yet lethal, and their hit-and-run cavalry units redefined warfare. But this rapid rise rested on a delicate balance. Caught between Hittite, Assyrian, and Egyptian powers, Mitanni survived by diplomacy, and in that balance, the slightest tremor could bring about a great collapse. After Tushratta's death, the succession became chaotic. His cousin Artatama staked his own claim to the throne. At the same time, Egypt's new pharaoh Akhenaten relegated foreign policy to a lower priority. Envoys waited at palace gates for weeks and returned empty-handed, fueling a belief among the people that the gods remained silent. Mitanni's system was built on oaths sworn in the gods' names. Those oaths now echoed without response. Local governors began to act independently. Taxes went uncollected, and horse shipments were delayed. The royal circle turned inward, consuming palace resources rapidly to buy loyalty. Prophecies from the goddess Shaushka were now interpreted as omens of doom. The populace started to lose both faith and confidence in the government at once. Economically, the cracks were visible. Drought had reduced grain yields, and local chiefs resorted to conscripting soldiers instead of paying taxes. While loyalty was purchased with coin inside, enemies waited patiently outside. King Suppiluliuma, the first of the Hittites, launched a sudden attack into Mitanni lands and captured Kadesh. From the east, Assyrian armies advanced. Mitanni was pressed on both sides. The capital Washukanni could no longer rely on outside aid. Tushratta tried to secure loyalty city by city, but these efforts produced only short-lived effects. The army was weakening, veteran cavalry had dwindled, and boys were taken into training. Some inscriptions record a dramatic drop in the number of horses entering the palace stables. Royal stock was exhausted, and diplomatic gifts no longer bought loyalty. Some vassal cities made secret alliances with the Hittites. Assyria began raiding westbound tribute caravans. One night, the city gates were opened from within. Some sources say Tushratta fled east. Others say he stayed to the end. But this much is certain: Washukanni fell. A domino effect followed, and vassal cities switched sides. And thus, Mitanni was erased from the map forever. The Mitanni Kingdom was politically destroyed, its capital vanished, and its military system collapsed. Yet interestingly, it did not disappear entirely. In some Hittite and Assyrian texts, the name Mitanni no longer appears, but their methods continue to be used in silence. For example, Kikuli's horse training regimen was rewritten and copied in Hattusa, Nineveh, and even in Egypt's royal stables. Oath texts still invoke Mitra, Varuna, and Indra, though no one knew where these gods had come from. Mitanni's diplomatic style also left its mark. State letters beginning with brother were used for centuries among Middle Eastern powers, but the kingdom itself? No monument, no victory stele. The site of Washukanni is still unknown. Mitanni was built on speed, not stone, and chose to live in memory. In the end, it passed through this world as swiftly as it rose, but it left a trace. Today, modern historians comb Egyptian and Hittite archives, chasing the faintest mention of a name to trace a vast civilization. And at every turn we ask, did the gods turn away? Or was this kingdom never strong enough to stand? What do you think caused Mitanni's fall? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoy this kind of historical content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for new videos.